Okay, here we go. Brian, welcome. Super excited to see you. I was actually so excited for this because I haven't seen you since Vegas, and we met on such a cool circumstance. I ran into my friend from Atlanta. Shout out to Marky Mark from Atlanta, and you walked up with this cat shirt. I don't know if you can see this in the background, but I gotta.
I love it.
Yeah, cat and tacos. So you're wearing a cat and taco shirt, and the first thing when I looked at you, I was like, I want to be friends with this guy, and so much fun. So wait, but my first question is gonna be: you have the craziest personality. You're so fun to be around. Why are you not a real estate agent?
Yeah, great question. Because I'd be amazing at it, right? I'm just playing. People are immediately turned off by me. I'm sorry, guys. I got hired by Kyle 8 years ago. So I was 25, 24, something like that. I was also a wedding photographer and portrait photographer. And so I was doing that a lot on the weekends and stuff like that. So I wasn't really ready to give that up. And now I've kind of given that up for doing this. And I really, really, really love what I'm doing. I love my team that I built, my media and marketing team. I love the company I work for. I love the role that I have in this company. And I really love my weekends. I love spending time being able to spend time with the kids. So that's all the plus. Also, I'm in the disc profile. Kyle's the highest D you can be. I have a lot more S in me. I need the stability, the security. The not knowing where my next paycheck's coming from is something that I'm super uncomfortable with, and something I'm not excited about. So that's why I do that.
Yeah, for sure. So talk a little bit about the company, because for people who don't know, you're in charge of marketing, right?
Yep.
At Kyle Whissel team.
Yeah. So Whissel Realty Group's here in San Diego. We have 4 offices over the entire county. For those of you guys that know San Diego, we have one in La Mesa, one in North Park, one in Carlsbad, and one in South Riverside County, actually is in Temecula. And so that one is one of our newest offices as we expand our team. We have about 85 agents right now, and are growing massively quick. We hired on 2 really, really good recruiters in John Pugh and Meyer Thacker. I'm sorry, Meyer. At least I got his first name right. I got that. And so it's been super, super, super fun to work with them and have their fresh ideas. And we've been receiving so many inbound leads because of the type leads for agents, that is, because of the type of content we create on YouTube, on Facebook, our podcast. We get a lot of people inbound wanting to join us. It's really fun to step our marketing up 9 notches and say, what can we do to attract more agents? Just like we would attract consumers, now putting on that hat for what can we do for agents in terms of videos, in terms of content, in terms of marketing, to have them, if they're interested in join our team.
So you have a pretty crazy, like you just talked about, buyers and sellers. So you're doing marketing to attract buyers and sellers, but you're also doing marketing to attract agents, and they're kind of one and the same sometimes. So what have you guys found has made you most successful as far as marketing and that kind of thing? Yeah,
I'll answer that with an answer that's not really a full answer, and I'll get to that in a second. But the way what we've found has worked the best for us is by creating content that our audience actually cares about. Right? So we're creating content that our audience actually cares about. And you're like, well, cool, that's good, but what does that mean, right? And so we call this our media mayor strategy. We stole it from Gary Vee, who he talked about the digital mayor, and basically creating content that people in our neighborhoods, in our area, in our farms, that they actually want to see. If they're not, let's play a game real quick, Matt. Are you currently in the market to buy a car?
Absolutely not.
Good. Okay, good. Thanks for saying no, because otherwise this analogy wouldn't work very well. So you're not in the market to buy cars. Tell me one of your hobbies. Do you like anything outdoorsy?
Yeah, for sure. hiking. I'm close to the mountains. Yeah.
Okay, love it. So, would you follow? Would you be like, hey, I'm going to follow a Ford dealership website, Facebook, Instagram? No, you don't care because you like hiking. You don't like cars. You need cars. When you're ready to buy a car, you need a car. But so what if someone made a page and it was about, they showed all the hikes in the area. They showed the hikes, they showed the outdoors area, they showed where to hike with kids, they showed the picnic areas, they showed the hard hikes, they showed the overnight hikes, they showed the 2-week hikes, all in your area. Would you follow that?
Definitely, yeah.
Okay. And let's just say a Ford dealership put it on. And every time they did a video about the hikes, they say, hey, hop in the car, we're going to go to, Devil's Falls or whatever it is. And now they're not like, this Ford is a very comfortable. No, they're not doing bullshit sales commercial. But every time you're in it, you see, and they're wearing a Ford shirt. And I actually own a Ford, but right, they're wearing a Ford shirt. And so you know that Jim owns this Ford dealership, but you don't care because you care that he's doing the stuff that you like. You're watching him, you're building a relationship with Jim because you like his stuff. Not because you like Ford, because you like his stuff, right? So we do the same exact thing for our consumers. Most people aren't right now wanting to buy a house. There is a small subset of people, but not most people are looking to buy or sell right now. And we want those bottom of funnel people. I get that. But how we get those bottom of funnel people is we build relationships when they're at the top of the funnel, when they're not ready to buy, when we're not trying to pitch them to buy anything. So we build the relationship with them. We wear our EXP, we wear our Whistle shirt. So we build the relationship so they can learn about it. And when they're ready to buy, they're going to call us up. Of course, you're going to call Jim from the Ford dealership because you've seen about 50 of his videos and you've taken 9 of those hikes and you love it. So the things that we found most success with, and the great thing about this is very low cost, is by creating content that our audience cares about. So Kyle's a big foodie. We create content about restaurants in the area. We've created things about historical societies, about nonprofits, about events coming up. We create content that people actually care about, that actually want to consume. And then when they're ready to transact, whether it be the business owner that we interviewed or it be the consumer that watches us, they've already built a relationship with us. To where we're obviously going to be a call. And those calls, or those when we run into those people in person, are so much more like a warm handoff. It's so much more like Matt, have you ever had someone where they're like, hey, my buddy Sally told me that I'm looking to buy a house. They told me to contact you. Mm-hmm. Right? Yeah. Yep. So the same thing, it's that same type of relationship. It's that someone referred me or you referred me versus a cold call versus a FSBO versus a leave me alone, lose my number, kick rocks, right? It's not that conversation. They already know you. And people ask me if this works, and I didn't even give you a chance, Matt, to let you ask me. But I ran into you. We were out at EXPCon. It was in the hallway. You were talking to some other people. I'm like, hey, those look like cool people. And so I was talking to you, and I introduced myself, and you're like, oh, I don't know. And then 15 minutes later, like, dude, I know who you are. I see you on the podcast all the time. That's exactly what it is. It's you already knew me. Besides my cat t-shirt, you already knew me to where we started that conversation and we were old friends immediately. So definitely. We do that for buyers and sellers with our community content. We do that. And that also helps attract agents because they're like, literally, we had someone who's been the number one agent in La Mesa for 20 plus years talk to us. And this happens, I mean, with so many of our agents, they're like, either I see you everywhere or I can't beat you, I'll join you, right? So that type of conversation happens all the time. So that's what works really well for buyers, for sellers, also works for growing our team. We do a slightly different tweak on that for agents because we're growing our team, our network, our referral source, and also the brokerage we're with by doing things like this, by doing podcasts, by doing videos, by giving educational content to real estate agents. We're not saying, You want to join EXP? You want to join EXP? You want to join EXP? No, we're not shoving that down people's throats. We're giving them content that they actually want. I think John Cheplack talks about this, be their coach before you are their coach. We're giving them free content. And that way, when they're ready to have a conversation about a change in brokerage, of course, they're going to talk to us.
Definitely.
Is that enough? I talked for like 20 minutes straight. I don't know how
phenomenal.
I
love your, this is great. I love your answers. And Chep always says, be their coach before, and 5% of people are in the consideration phase. And we're talking to these 95% of the people that would never even consider it. So I like your analogy there. Most agents are going to say, well, I need to let them know that I'm in real estate. So that Ford dealership is going to do exactly what you said. These seats are comfortable. Look at these tires. They can go over these big rocks. And it's almost like you're banging in people's head, trying to sell them on the truck. And I think that's where a lot of real estate agents go wrong, is they're trying to sell them on, these are tips for buying and selling. This is what you got to want to know. And the worst one of all, go get pre-approved. Everybody knows by now that you want them to get pre-approved so you don't waste your time. So you're trying to sell them before you get there.
And that information is, I shook my head and I regret it. The information is important. You need those types of videos, because once they are in that consideration phase, you want them to know that you know what you're talking about. But people can smell a commercial from a mile away, right? I love TikTok. I love consuming TikTok. I don't want to make a bunch because then I'm going to just, whatever. I love consuming TikTok. I can tell from a second ad scroll, and I love ads, but I can tell when it's an ad. I can tell when it's a YouTube ad. I'm like, ugh, it has a feel to it. And if you do an interview with a business and you're like, so tell me, Surf Rider Pizza, which is right next to my office, Whistle Realty Group, where we help buyers and sellers help. It's not about that. You're building relationships. Your goal is not to get someone that watches your video to work with you day one. Right? Can you imagine you go to a bar and you go to someone at the bar and you're like, let's do this analogy. You're going to someone at the bar, you're looking to pick someone up, and then you go up to this lady and you're like, hey, let me give you my stats about how good I am. Yeah, she's going to go home with you. You got it. Tell her how many people you've slept with, how many sales you've had. Tell her how your communication is the best. That's not how you do this. You build relationships with people. That's not how you find a wife or a husband. That is that's so short term, and you'll get slapped 95 out of 96 times. So you got to make sure you have the mindset of, the goal is not to get them, your first conversation is not to get them to sign a contract and buy with you that day. Your goal is for them to like you. Your goal is for them to trust you. Your goal is for them to know you. And as that relationship builds, they're willing to put their investment of $500,000 of their home in your hands, of $100,000, of $2 million. They're not going to do that if they don't like you, if they don't trust you, if they don't know you. And so your whole goal of video is, let's build that relationship. Let's create that before we even try and pitch them on the bottom of funnel stuff. Bottom of funnel stuff is important. Don't forget it. Don't dismiss it. But typically, and we have been guilty of this as well. Typically, that's all people will do. Like, I did a video. I did why you should get peer approved before you shop, which I don't think is a bad video, but that's not the video that's going to get you deals. That's going to, after they're in the consideration phase. Does that make sense?
Totally makes sense. You guys have a great online presence. So
thank you.
What does online presence mean to you?
What does online, let me think about this. So first, I want to give credit to my team. I've got an amazing team here. Like I said, we have 85 agents, and we just have a team joining in. That's why I'm trying to figure out the exact numbers. I've got 2 people in-house that do all the photos, the shooting, the editing, all the photos, all the videos, all the stuff that needs to be boots on the ground. 2 phenomenal guys, Tom and Chad. I love them. You can't have them. Don't try. And then I also have 4 editors in the Philippines. Phenomenal team. With them, I am able to take the credit for all the content we put out, even though I have very little to do with it. So that's that. Online presence is important, not for the sake of online presence, but for what it does, right? We're able to build a brand. We're able to build a presence. We're able to build these parasocial relationships. Parasocial relationship is kind of a one-sided relationship. I don't know. Have you ever seen the show Entourage?
Mm-hmm.
I love Entourage. And literally it ended, and I told my wife, I'm like, I'm bummed. Like, those were my friends. Like, it was like a joke, but like, I felt connected to them, and now I don't get to see them anymore. It's like when your friends move away for college, you're like, oh, bummer, right? You get to build that parasocial relationship by putting out content that people care about online. And by the time that they meet you, they already know, like, and trust you. So online presence is important because it's a vehicle to do that. It's so much harder to do that with mailers, with postcards, with phone calls and text messages. They don't see, and I'm going to get the numbers wrong, Moravian's model, right? That's how communication takes place. And a big number is body language. Then I think it's like 54% is body language, 17% is tone, something like that. And 7% is the words you actually say. So online and social media allows us to get our tone, our body language, and the words out to our audience in a way that you can't do with traditional media. And that brand that we build and those relationships we create is not something that can be taken away from us. If your business is relying on a single lead source provider, if your business is relying on a single referral portal, if that referral portal says, not a sustainable model, I'm going to give up, or you're fired, or whatever, your business is crushed. And so this is one of the strong brand pillars that we can build without spending a lot of money. And that's not relying on other people.
Amazing. So Entourage, your personality, who would you be on Entourage? They take one actor out of the show, they put you in. Who would you be?
Oh, for the actor. Dude, I love Turtle. I love Turtle.
For some reason, I knew you were going to pick Turtle.
It's not going to be Johnny. Fuck that guy. Oops,
yeah.
Not Johnny.
Nobody wants to replace that guy.
Everyone wants to be Vince, but I think Turtle, man. Or E. I'm probably more like E. He's a little neurotic like me. Nice. And trying to rein in Vince. Okay, it's probably E.
Okay, there we go. So what does somebody with your personality type, and it's like you have this glowing energy when you're around people. Obviously we met in the hallway of EXP and we bonded there, and then we were out and shared a love for 90s grunge music. It was what we were trying to guess every song.
Yeah, we did pretty good too.
Yeah, we didn't miss too many. So what does somebody like you bring to a team, especially like you got this big team, Kyle's team, and not only is it a big, amazing juggernaut of a team, but it's going places. So what does somebody like you, like if there's teams listening, hiring somebody like you, what does it do for them, and what they should they be looking for?
Yeah, I consider myself an extension of Kyle. And so which that may sound cocky, and that's not the goal. I was always trying to make sure I don't think I have a big ego, but I probably have a decent sized one, being fully transparent. But I always thought, if I were why am I doing this? Am I doing this for ego? And I would always convince myself, true or not, that I wasn't. And I saw myself as an extension of Kyle. Kyle can only be in one place at one time. He can only be at one conference at one time. He can only, he's so busy. Like Kyle and I have a podcast, the Whistle podcast. He is there very often, but there are times he can't be. So I can help build the brand, communicate with people over emails, over text, over Facebook groups. I can communicate as an extension of his brand to help duplicate him. And my brand is not Kyle Whistle. I understand this. I understand. But if I can be a 10th of his brand and represent him at different areas, meet different people that I can then connect with him, find business opportunities. That's one of the things that I really enjoy. And I think someone with my personality type, once I had that kind of approval of saying, yes, let's go, let's do this. I think that's where I can add a lot of value to the team externally. And then internally, I can help, again, an extension of Kyle. And we have a 7-person leadership team. We're all extensions of Kyle within the company as well, of helping the vision of the company be disseminated to the team, helping the team on a more hands-on basis to where when he's unavailable or when it's not something in his wheelhouse, but it's in my wheelhouse because I can spend the time to dig into it, I can help grow that.
Definitely. That's a good answer. And I've always looked for somebody like you. You know, you got to have that integrator, and you got to have somebody by your side that represents you in the right way. You know what I mean? And every time I talk to you, you talk so highly of Kyle and so highly of the team and so highly of like everything that you guys have going on that it's inspiring. So
thank you.
Let's talk a little bit about new agents, because I coach some new agents and they always have trouble when it comes to video. And if we started telling them, hey, become that media mayor, is that trademarked yet? Are we allowed to use it?
It should be. You can use it.
Yeah.
I mean, we're just pitching me, so let's go.
So if you want to be that media mayor of your town or city, what's that first thing? Because they're not going to do everything. They're not going to go out and, like, we're doing a 4-week challenge right now, market update, community spotlight, buyers and sellers, and a feature of a property. What should they do first? What's that first video that they should focus on? And then where should they kind of grow or play off that?
Great question. Let me think of exactly how, because I was like, okay, these are the 9 things you do first, but that's not what you do first. Okay, this is what you do first. This will make the biggest impact in someone's life. This is the easiest thing to do, and this takes 0 extra equipment. Is that fair? What you do is you take your phone, you find someone in your friends list on Facebook or in your text message or somewhere, you go through them, and you send them a genuine, true, heartfelt video. You don't have to cry in it, but you send them a video. Do you want to do it right now? I did this last time and I really liked it. I'm gonna go to Facebook Messenger, scroll down to let's see here. Jesse Peters. Do you know Jesse Peters?
I do not.
God, I love Jesse so much. He's a Canadian too. So you're gonna do this. Go to your phone, and for those of you guys watching, you'll see this, but for those of you who don't, you go to Facebook Messenger, you go to the little camera icon, and you press and hold the button and do a little video. And we're going to do this right now. Jesse, my dude, I love you so much. I'm talking with my buddy Matt Ferguson. He's asking about the importance of video, and the first video someone should send. I randomly scrolled down, ran on your name, and I said, this is the first video you should send, a one-to-one video telling someone how much they mean to you. Your energy, your smile, your enthusiasm, your growth in video is phenomenal. I love you so much. I just want to stop and say, hey, give these people that are watching a little tip, and miss you, dude. There you go. You do that, you hit send. He is going to send me, knowing Jesse, he'll probably send me a video back. You will get a response from a video like that 90% of the time, 95% of the time. Thank you so much. You made my day. Oh my God, you made me cry. Oh, I miss you. How's the family? You'll get a response that starts a conversation. That's not scary. I don't have my hair. Well, I mean, whatever. Like, I didn't prep. I didn't think about what I was going to say. I just found someone on Facebook. That is how you start. That is how you get over it. People are often saying, well, if I do a video, everyone will think I'm dumb. I guarantee you, Jesse will not think I'm dumb. And again, he's a video guy. But random, right? That is going to make someone's day. That is going to build your legacy. That is going to deepen and strengthen your relationship. That is going to help you get over your fear of video, what you look like, what you sound like, what they're going to think. Do 10 of those. Tell me how many people yell at you. Tell me how many people block you. Tell me how many people throw things at you or write a bad review on you for Yelp. Tell me. I'll wait. There's gonna be none. No one. No, like, be real. Be authentic. Don't batch record that and say, "Hey, friend of mine, come on, do a one-to-one video." That's where you start. Do it with your friends, do it with your family, do it with your sphere, do it with people who already know, like, and trust you. Get that fear out of the way, get comfortable on camera, and then you can start doing it with leads. Then you can start doing Facebook Lives. Then you can start doing bomb videos. Then you can start doing business interviews. It can grow and you can do anything you want. But my challenge to anyone listening is do that one video. Let me know how they respond.
But you absolutely nailed that. Like, you absolutely, so genuine. If anybody's listening at home, go and listen to that 10 times. And that's exactly what you want the person to feel. Imagine it's you that's getting that message. It makes you feel warm inside. So how many times have you done that? Because it's going to be very scary for a new agent. They're going to get on there and be like, what do I say?
No, it's not. Have they ever talked to someone in their life? I mean, think about it. This is not a phone. It's another person, right? It's just a medium for conversation. Like, that's like saying, and you're not wrong, but I'm trying to change people's mindset. It's like saying, oh, they're going to feel so weird talking into a microphone. No, you just have a conversation. Don't look at this as a phone and a video and this going. No, I would say that to Jesse, to his face. Just pretend this is his face and go for it. And what's great about he already heard my video. What's great about it is he shows you his face right there. Just look at his face. Mm-hmm. It's not showing my face. Look at his face and send a video. Like, I get it. I get that it can be scary, but it's the same. I mean, if you're scared about it, please do this. Please do this. Send it to your mom. Send it to your dad. Send it to your wife, your sister, your kid. Don't send it to your dog. I don't think your dog has a text message. Send it to your niece. Send it to your best friend. Send it to the best man at your wedding. Send it to the people that, no matter what send it to the people that have seen you naked. Like, that's not scary. Sending a video of your face if they've seen you naked. Like, send it to people you love and you care about and you can be real with. And that makes it not scary anymore. And send it before you can't.
Yeah, automatically. Just send it. Don't refilm it. One take. That's it. They're not going to care. They're not going to count how many times you said or anything like this. Nobody cares. I actually do this funny thing. I go to the gym and I wear 2 different shoes. And it's an exercise that I do to build character in myself, because if you're wearing 2 different shoes, you think that everybody's going to be like, this guy's a weirdo wearing 2 different shoes. Guess what? Nobody cares. Nobody cares. And even if they care at an exact moment, the moment you walk away, it's gone from their brain. It's still, you do something embarrassing, it's stuck in your brain for the next 3 days. That person doesn't even remember who you are or what you look like, or even what color your shoes were. So I think we just got to get over that. Like, obviously 100%. You're really good on camera. How much practice do you have, and how did you kind of like start getting in front of the camera? Because you started behind the camera, right?
Yeah. I think I probably started when we were supposed to film a restaurant, and he texted me 3 minutes before and he's like, "Hey bro, I can't make it. So you're going to have to do it for me." And so I was filming it and interviewing it, and it was rough. But I interviewed the business owner's sister, and the business owner, every time I went there, was like, "Hey, good to see you." I'm like, I did that video like 2 years ago. He opened up he had a couple other restaurants. They weren't in our demographic, so we couldn't do it. But he's like, "Can you do this? Can you do," like, he loved me. And I didn't do any of the stuff that we talk about in our course about how following up and how building. I didn't do any of that. I totally botched it, but he still had a relationship with him. And so, again, the first time you do anything, you're not going to be the best at it in the world, right? The first time we rode a bike, were we doing wheelies? No. The first time we drove a car, could we get on the freeway with no problem? No. The first time, gentlemen, we did some things. Were we great at it? No. I'm talking about doing dishes. I still suck at doing dishes. But like the first time you do something, you're not going to be, but that's fine. That's fine. You don't look at, like, I have two kids. I've got Georgia, who's turning 6 next week, and Elliot, who's 2. Like, am I like, Georgia, you're such an idiot. You don't know how to drive a skateboard or ride a skateboard. No, she's learning. So let her learn, let her grow, let her be her. Same thing with you with video. If you're not comfortable with it, that's fine. Tom Cruise you don't know he's so great because he did one video. Like, it's a muscle you have to grow. And I guarantee you, if you do a video, people are gonna be like, wow, I don't have the strength to do video. I don't have the presence. Even the first video you do, they're gonna be like, wow, it's cool to see you on video. Just go for it.
Mm-hmm. And I like what you said about you're talking to a person. So I did this challenge with one of the guys I coach, and I said, here, I'm going to sit here, turn your camera on, tell me about the market. Like, he's in a different market than I am. Tell me about the real estate market. And I'm going to tell you about the real estate market. I guarantee you those are our best market update videos because we're talking to one another. It's so simple, right?
Yeah. And people sometimes are like, well, I need a teleprompter. And I'm like, do you go to someone and you say, hey, how you doing? And they're like, good. And then you tell me you're real estate. Like, how's the market? Like, wait a second. Let me find here. Hold this, and I'll tell you how the market is good. We have an increase. No, all people want to know is what's going on. You don't have to be. You're not a newscaster. So all video is. I heard this from someone on Clubhouse. Remember that? I heard this from someone on Clubhouse, and they said, video is just a conversation at scale. Video is a conversation you can have once that can be used over and over and over and over. But it's just one person talking to one person, and then me talking to person 2, person 3, person 4. It's just one person that I'm talking to one person, but multiple people can consume it. So I think if you look at it that way, because I think people think about it like being on stage in front of 10,000 people. That's terrifying for some. Like, that's number one fear for most people, right? Okay, but you're not being shown your video people aren't watching your video in a 10,000 person arena. They're watching it while they're stopped at a red light. They're watching it while they're sitting on the toilet. They're watching it before their wife goes to bed. Like, that's where they're watching it. You're not talking to 10,000 people. You're talking to one person. And that's all you got to think about.
Yeah, it makes it so much more comfortable, right? You're talking to that one person. And then what about TikTok? What about Instagram? Where would you see TikTok going? And is it a useful tool in real estate? You know, there a lot of realtors do everything else, you know, all the other social media platforms, but avoid TikTok a little bit because it's kind of like they think it's for kids, or they like, what do you see? How would it benefit somebody's business?
I mean, I'm on TikTok a lot as a consumer. I'm 33 years old, got a family, a wife. We make above the median income. I mean, if I'm a kid, if you don't want me as your target demographic, then cool. But I love TikTok. I mean, what I tell people is 2 things when you're picking a social media platform. One, where is your audience? And true, if you're saying, but Bryan, I'm focusing on boomers that have been in their house for 35 years, selling their house, going into a senior living facility. Yeah, probably wouldn't recommend TikTok. Are there boomers on TikTok? Sure. But is that where they're spending their time? No. The majority, no. Right? So one, where's your audience? And number 2 is what do you natively like? Because if you hate TikTok and you have a really negative aspect towards it, and you say TikTok's for kids and dancing things, and I hate TikTok, then don't do it. Well, even if your target demographic is there, but you absolutely hate it, that's like a vegan opening up a steakhouse. Why would you do it? Well, there's a lot of people here that like to eat steak, but I hate. No, don't do that. That's a really good analogy. That's the first time I used it.
I like that.
But like, where's your audience and what do you like? Find where those 2 intersect, and that's where you focus. And once you dominate one platform, then grow out. Don't half-ass 15 different platforms. Dive in, build relationships, engage. And once you feel, hey, I've got this on autopilot, I know the process, I'm building up a brand there, then start branching out.
Okay, so let's talk, because I'm not big on TikTok. Actually, one of the young ladies on my team got me into TikTok, doing reels and doing all that kind of thing. And it's exactly what you said. You can't master that one thing. I had so much other stuff going on. So what would I focus on, knowing that I'm a team leader, a coach, all that kind of stuff? I'm not going to get on there and do funny TikToks. Like what would I focus on if you were advising me?
I would advise you to watch Glenda Baker. I absolutely love Glenda. I would advise you to watch Byron Lazine. I would advise you to watch John Pugh. Those are the top three that come to mind. And John, I've just been seeing the last couple of days. And they're not doing the dance videos. Glenda's amazing at storytelling. I'm cautious to tell people to watch her because it's very hard to replicate, because she's just an amazing storyteller. John Pugh is crushing it though. He's taking his phone, and as he's walking from one place to another, he goes, I was at a team meeting today and this is what I learned. I'm like, he's not making anything new. He just said, literally, he spent the last hour at a team meeting and then he broke it down into a 45-second clip of a nugget that he took away. He's being their coach before he is their coach. He's attracting people that are interested in him, and they're in that type of content. So if you're targeting real estate agents, create real estate content. Take snippets from this show, cut them up into 45-second clips, 15-second clips. I think TikTok can go up to 3 minutes now. I wouldn't recommend going 3 minutes early on, but cut them up and put them online and teach it. Your audience. TikTok I think it does the best with their algorithm. They'll find the audience for you.
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't mean you're going to go viral, but again, Matt, how many people are you trying to coach?
Yeah, like 100 tops.
Okay.
So it's like you just need 100 eyeballs.
Yeah, 100 views on your video of the right 100 views is exactly that's. If you got 7 million views, but they're all from people in India like that are talking about ramen noodles, I don't know, it's just something weird. Like, okay, well, that doesn't do your business any good. 100 of the right views, that's what you want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's my mentality too. Is everybody's so worried about getting that dopamine rush because you have so many views? No, I'll take 5 genuine people who are looking to either join our team, EXP, over 10,000 people, like you said, over in another country. So that's really good advice. You guys have a ton of agents, probably a lot of new agents come to your team. Where do you see new agents struggling the most? Obviously, there's a crazy market going from in the last year. It changed 3 times, but where do you see agents struggling the most in the business?
I think with new agents struggle the most with expectations not being properly set. And let me explain what I mean by that. If you're a new agent, let me talk to you. If you are an experienced agent, you already probably know. We know that this is a relationship game, right? We already talked about it. You're meeting someone at the bar. It's a relationship game. You're not taking them home that night. And then knowing that a transaction takes, let's say on average, 30 days to close. You have to build your list of people. You have to build a relationship with people that are actually ready to, in that transaction phase, right? In that consideration phase, ready to transact soon. And you have to transact. I think the most that I see that new agents struggle, brand new, is they don't come in with the proper mindset of this is going to be 3 months, 6 months, 8 months before I get any money. And that's really, especially living in San Diego, that's really hard to say, hey, you can work this job 40 hours a week, 50 hours a week, 30 hours a week, and not make any money for 6 months, right? It's really hard. It's really hard. And I think shows as entertaining as they are, like Selling Sunset and $1 Million Listing, don't paint a proper expectations for what it's like to be in the business, whatever stage you're in. But I think people come in and they go, oh, I like people. I like houses. I like money. I like making my own schedule. I like not having a boss. Let me do that. I think that's the number one about, so within setting expectation. Number one is not having the money, and number two is the expectation of setting your own hours and not being your own boss. Sounds really good until you realize you get to choose any 14 hours of the day that you work. People go, I set my own hours. I get to work 3 hours a day. No, to do this well, you got to work hard. And so that expectation isn't set. The being your own boss is a great idea unless you're a bad employee. and a lot of real estate agents that come in aren't, they want to become a real estate agent because they're not the best employee. Sorry, my shirt's all messed up. You didn't tell me, thanks. And so those things are hard. The expectation of I get to show people houses at open houses or whatever. The expectation of the follow-up, of the phone calls, of the emails, of the getting in touch with people isn't set, it's not sold because it's not sexy, right? It's not fun to be like, hey, you got to call people a bunch when you get their information, to even just for them to see where they're at in the process. Those are three areas within like the wrong expectation set that I see the agents that fizzle the hardest, is because the expectations weren't set, and I don't blame them for it. But that's the reality.
And I think the focusing on your business, and it's an actual business. If you started a plumbing company, the amount of work you would have to do to get that company to, what do you want to make? $150,000 a year? Imagine the amount of the amount of time it would take to get your company to that. There's no different in real estate. So are you willing to put in those hours? Are you willing to do the steps to get there? Right.
And, invest in it, right? We don't get leads for free. You got to buy leads. You got to host open houses, and you don't get people raising their hands for free. So you're not making money, you're spending money. And depending if you're doing it solo or on a team, if you're doing it solo, you've got expenses out. You got your licensing fees. Cool, everyone has those. But now you have your CRM, you have your marketing expense. You're spending hundreds of dollars a month, making no money, and expecting this to happen for a couple months. It's hard. Maybe that's why I don't want to be an agent.
Yeah, exactly. What inspires you right now? You sound inspired. Every time I talk to you, you sound inspired. You sound hopeful. You sound like, there's a ton of agents out there, and like, not that you're a real estate agent, but you're like right in there. What makes you inspired? How do you sound so inspired? How do you sound so optimistic?
Because I see the success come through. For an example, Kobe's an agent on our team. Kobe is an amazing human being. Kobe came in. I don't think he had the right expectations. I don't think anyone that comes into this knows what they're getting themselves into. Kobe struggled in the beginning, and I was like, damn. He told me, he's like, hey, Bryan, like I had to get another job. I was like, oh, that's kind of the kiss of death a lot of times when you see that with real estate agents. Hey, I got to start driving for Uber. I'm going back to bartending. It's kind of the kiss of death for a lot of agents. And I'm like, what are you doing? He goes, and we have a lot of expectations for our team members, so it's hard to work another job. He goes, yeah, I'm going back to work at my old job. I'm working with adults with disabilities, and I'm there for what they need throughout the night. So I stay there overnight. If they need their medicine, if they need help getting up and going around. Again, this is the type of person Kobe is. It's just like, oh, God, I love you. And so I see agents like Kobe who struggle with that at the beginning and really start to crush it. And Kobe is who he is. He is not shy about who he is. He does not hide who he is. He's Kobe, and I love him for it. And what inspires me is seeing people like him come into this struggle in the beginning, work the system, work the process, and starting to be successful for him and his family. That is inspiring to me.
Mm-hmm. And so I like that you said Kobe is who he is. So it's a good segue into online persona. And a lot of agents get wrapped up in the fake it till you make it, the pictures of them sitting on a table and just saying, "Hey, look, I'm a real estate agent," over and over. They're just posting these kind of things. They're not really offering value to their clients or their followers. So give me a couple things about online persona. And I know you're going to say you got to be genuine, right? You got to be genuine, but like, give us some tips on the online persona.
Let me start out with this. People way more successful than me by exponential levels have preached the fake it till you make it story, right? Ryan Serhant from $1 Million Listing. I went to a Agent 2021 with Gary Vee, his very first one. Ryan Serhant was there. He's like, I hadn't sold anything. I told him I was the best there ever was, and so then they hired me. And then I had to figure it out. He is successful, and I can't say that is not a valid way to go about it, because people have done it. It works. It's not how I like to do things. I think when you have a persona, a separate persona, it can be complicated keeping up with that persona, and right, you can only juggle so many things. The more genuine you are, the more people will like you. In my experience, the best performing posts I've ever done have either been the highest of highs or my lowest of lows. People are, if you tell the story about a transaction that fell apart and you messed up and you owned it, and this is what happened, and this is the lessons you learned, and these are the systems you put in place to make sure that doesn't happen again. People aren't going to go, "Oh, well, he didn't call his client, so I don't want to call. I don't want to work with him." They're gonna be like, "Wow, this dude, he's growth minded. I connect with him," because you know what else everyone has in common? Everyone has messed up. Everyone has failed at something. Everyone has dropped the ball somewhere. It happens. So being a part of that, and being honest and genuine, and that way, when I meet you in person, I don't have to go, "Oh, what persona am I?" I just it's so much easier just to be yourself. And I mean, that's my recommendation. Yeah, you can put on a persona. You can be, I've seen women do this very successfully. "Oh, I'm the pink hair realtor," you made the joke earlier about me being the cat guy. Like, cool, but like, I just wear that. I wore that shirt literally, I think Tuesday. Like, I don't know, just be real is the easiest and best advice that I can give. I think people connect with real people. I think if you're a caricature and it's too hard to relate to, I think it's not the path I would recommend taking.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And people like vulnerability, and people like when you mess up. I haven't even thought about that, but I've messed up so many times in real estate, and you're kind of scared to tell people about it, but it makes you human. Mm-hmm. So if somebody's thinking like, "Oh, I got to get the message out there that I'm a real estate agent," and they're, posting a picture of them sitting at their desk and being like, "Oh, we had a great November, just to let you know if you're interested in buying or selling." Like, there's so many of those out there. What would you recommend that they do instead of that?
Ask people how they're doing. Have you ever had a conversation, Matt? Tell me the honest truth, where you didn't where you started talking to someone and they brought up real estate?
Yeah, all the time.
I mean, probably every time you don't bring up real estate, you meet someone at Vaughn's, the shopping center, and the grocery store, right? You meet them at a grocery store, and you're like, "Oh, hey, are these good noodles?" Like, "Yeah," and you start to make a conversation. "Oh, what do you do?" They will always ask you, "What do you do?" And just like when people get married, everyone's like, "So when are you going to have kids?" The next question that everyone always asks every single time, once they say, "I'm a real estate agent," they go, "How is the market?"
How's the market?
Every single time. And so you don't have to shove it down people's throat that you're a real estate agent. Reach out to people from high school. "Hey, dude, it's been a minute. I ran across your Facebook. I was remembering that time where we jumped the fence and got hungry at Howie's Pizza. What are you up to? Oh, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm doing that. Oh, cool. I remember you're really into painting. Are you doing anything with that? No, I'm working at AutoZone. Oh, cool. Is that good? Eventually they'll stop. They'll be like, oh shit, what are you up to? Oh, I'm a real estate agent. And you can already start typing. I'm a real estate agent. Send. Start typing, and they're going to say, "How's the market?" The market's really like it's literally every single time. And so, like, I get that response when I'm like, "Oh, I'm the director of marketing for a real estate company." Like, how's the market? Well, usually they say, "What real estate company?" And I'm like, but just asking them what they do, having conversations with people, they will ask you in return. And if they don't, I hear someone saying, well, what if they don't ask? Okay, well, then they're not interested. Like, if they don't ask, do you think that you showing a picture of you sitting on your desk saying the real estate market is great, do you think they're going to be like, well, now I know? Like, if they don't care, they don't care. Like,
yeah, I love that. So what would be a piece of advice that you would give to somebody who's going to start a team? A lot of people think that it's super lucrative, super easy to start a team. What's something that they would be surprised to find out when they start their team? Maybe they get an agent, or maybe they get two at once. What would be something that you could tell them?
Oh, that's a lot. So enjoy your margins while you're on a team or while you're on as a solo agent. I'll be very honest with you. Our goal I think it's for this year or maybe next year, is to have a 15% profit margin on our team. We have 90 agents. We have 4 offices. We have all the systems. We want 10 or 15% profit. And so it's funny when it's not funny. It's a lack of perspective. And I get it. It's not their fault. But when people are like, oh, the split is 50-50, I'm like, let's switch. Let's switch to where your goal is 15%, and we'll take 50%. Like it's so the great thing about a team is, right, you can duplicate, in quotes, duplicate yourself, right? You can have more people, you can help more people. They can work while you're out. It's a lot of work though. People, like, your agents need just as much, if not more, love, attention, hand-holding, probably as your most needy buyer or seller. And if you don't give it to them, just like your needy buyer, they will find someone else. And so we see people all the time. They start building a team. This is great. Then they get really busy and they're still producing, or then they want to take a vacation, and then half their team leaves. I'm like, what the hell? When was the last time you talked to Jimmy? Like 6 weeks ago, but he didn't ask me any questions. Yeah, you weren't, like, it's so much work maintaining and growing a team and doing I mean, put it this way, like I said, we have 90 agents. We have probably 20, 25 staff. And we pay all those salaries. And so those salaries plus the overhead of the expenses of the building and it's a lot. It's a lot of work. I would, do what you want. But just know, again, just like most people aren't ready, they don't have the proper expectations set when joining or going into real estate. I think it's even cloudier joining it or creating a team.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. I've had that experience many times. People don't understand. They once they get inside and they work on a team, they're like, oh, you have this automation, you have these systems, and it's like, I could never create this. What's been the most memorable moment you've had at the Whistle Group so far?
Most memorable moment. I don't know.
People want to see what's behind the curtain. Like, you have this, like we just talked about, online persona. Kyle has this online persona. He's very recognizable. He's all over the internet. People want to know what it's like to work behind the curtains.
So that's a different question than most memorable moment. Let me think about.
Well, yeah. Tell me something amazing that happened when you're like, wow.
I'm thinking. I mean, to put those two together and tie in with kind of what I said earlier, probably one of the most.
Man, did I stump you?
No.
Oh.
Probably one of the most memorable things. God, I can't. Kyle sent me. I gotta find it somewhere. Kyle sent me a video once. And it was just after my dad died, and probably the day of, and if not the day after. And she sent me the video saying, "Hey, dude, I'm here for you." Like, he lost his mom to cancer, and said, whatever you need, you got it. If you need time off, you got it. If you want to come back to work right away, you got it. If you want to go get drunk or smoke weed, I got it. And just kind of that real human to human interaction of, being there for someone. That's probably up there.
I love it. And it's that human interaction. We're in the people business, right? After all. And I love what you were just saying earlier. And what I was going to say, and I completely forgot when you said it, is that you're about to put all the coaching people out of the market because it's just about relationships. We're looking for this new shiny object. We're looking for this new shiny thing. It's that I posted it's that easy on the internet the other day, and you corrected me by saying it's that simple, but it's that simple. Building those relationships, and it's with everybody. It's like that's why I see you're inspired. That's why I see the connection that you have, and that you're invested in the business because of those relationships. The relationship you have with your team, right? It's such a great thing.
And obviously, like, coaches like you, coaches like Chet Black, coaches like coaches all over. Yes, there's that fun shiny object, but there's also ways to coach. Obviously, there's objections and there's sales skills and there's all sorts of things. So we'll never put people out of business because for those reasons. But there's also the relationship coaching. That how do you follow up? How do you do this at scale? What cadence? There's always that. And I think we can all be better at relationships. Again, think about when was the last time you called your mom or your brother, your sister-in-law, your whatever. There's someone in there. When was the last time you called your kid, or there's someone in there that you can be better at building relationships with, and so there's always going to need to be room to grow and get better than that, and so don't worry, we're not coming for your job.
I love it. So that's a great place to end. Relationships, the most important part, relationships. So I appreciate you, from when we met down in Vegas, and I was excited to see you again. Can't wait till I get down to San Diego. I really appreciate you. I really appreciate you giving us this insight. Is there anything else you want to say? Closing remarks? Anything you want people to know?
I mean, again, create content that people like. When you think, what should I say? So two things. One, like I said, create content that people care about. And two, I just got finished with our 3-day, we called it our community content challenge. And I spent a day and a half of those 3 days trying to reframe people's mind or opinions on success metrics. And it's not how many views you had, or people reached, or comments, or shares, or 3-second views, or link clicks. That none of that matters in the long run. It's the relationships you built, which that's what turns into transactions. That's what turns into clients, not leads. That's what turns into clients, what turns into friends, what turns into long-term relationships. That's what's important. Video and views and comments, are the medium to take you there. But that's not what is important. It's the relationships you build. And like I said earlier, and Kyle said this a lot this week, is people can't take that away from you. You can mess up your own relationships. People can't take that away from you.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. I love that. And so you guys have we were talking about the Media Mayor. You guys have a program which people can be a part of. There's a monthly fee, and then also for the program itself. So where can they find that?
Yeah, that's Media Mayor Mastermind. And we give in there, so MediaMayorMastermind.com. In there, we give we did it our way. We did it the Whistle way. We're not saying that's the only way or the perfect way, but we break it down for those people that say, hey, I want to create content that people actually care about. What do I say? Who do I reach out to? At what point do I say what? All of that sort of stuff. We talk about how to build those relationships utilizing media in your community. So photos, videos, Facebook groups, all that encompassing. How do we use that to build relationships and therefore build our brand, build our business, build our bank account? We break it down step by step as walk through as possible. So that way people can do that.
Perfect. Amazing. Okay. So check that out. Thank you for being here, Bryan. I really appreciate it. And I hope to see you soon down Fast Forward Convention, May 9th.
Yeah. I think I'll be there. I don't know. We'll see.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
I'll talk to you later.
See you later.